and the lunch, but we ensure that the food of thought keep you engaged with us for the next few minutes. To start, anyhow, we were introduced at which place we belong and what place we carry in our organization. So, to start with a brief introduction of mine, then I request the distinguished panel to briefly share how was their professional journey being shaped into this cybersecurity forum today, and what in the coming next 2, 3, 4 years they are preparing their organization because, as we know, the today panel discussion is all about India defense for 2030. It is good that we are talking about very early goal, not a 5-year plan, and collectively we discuss on how India will be prepared for the next gen threat. And to briefly talk about me, to summarize, from a data documentation officer to be an engagement partner at Controller's data center, it brings like a complete hello. So it's being almost like a complete 360-degree journey for me. So I used to call on a lighter note that I'm a data controller because all the IP design, because I work for, if people are from Hyderabad, they know one manufacturing. I started my career being an electronic engineer because we were discussing about the lot of IT jobs are taken by the other non-IT engineers. So proud to be an electronic engineer. I happened to start my career with the mechatronics company where I learn because it was a US-based multinational for 80 country operation. So I learned all the foundation, and then I thought we are talking about India defense, right? So though I am SSB, I should say, shortlisted candidate post my engineering. So it was always my dream that I should do something for the country. And to do something for the country, we need not to wear the uniform. People like us in a casual wear also can do the defense for the country, and we are listening that from the agencies like CERTIN to AICT, because I'm myself being an engineer, being in a umbrella of AICT from my MTech days and all that. And then roundabout, I also saw DSCI. So before coming to Controllers, I briefly worked leading marketing and operation for the Cybersecurity Center of Excellence of DSCI and Government of Telangana. And there was a discussion about how IITs are abusing cybersecurity in AI. So I happened to be the founding public relation officer for the IIT Hyderabad and IIIT Raichur, which is the youngest IIIT in India. And we are talking about how to prepare the next gen. So I thought I should give back, do my ISR, individual social responsibility. So currently I'm also inducted as my additional weekend job as a professor of practice at IIIT Raichur to teach the corporate relations, because I guess in the era of cybersecurity, soul security is equally important. And there was a discussion that we should not do a regular interview for a cybersecurity professional, but ideally CERTIN has told that 6-hour mandate, reporting. For that, someone should have that kind of a communication skill. So as I say, I'm a communication engineer, now engineering communication. So with this thought, I would like to tell all the August professionals, cybersecurity professionals and enthusiasts, I say, those who are not expert, they come under enthusiast category like me, that how can we make our upcoming generation vocal for the locals so that we can achieve our dream of cyber secure India for 2030. So I request Ramakrishna Garu to briefly introduce yourself and what are the trends in your company you're following to prepare India for this secure 2030 vision, sir.
Hi, very good afternoon, everyone. I have about 3 decades of experience or more than that. Spanning, it's like a checkered career. I joined services. From services, I moved on to DRDL. From DRDL, I went on to manufacturing industry. In manufacturing, I was there for defense manufacturing, space manufacturing, then railway manufacturing. So all niche areas. I don't know why those people have taken me for having jumped so many guns. But definitely, I believe now, yes, something is there in me. I don't know what is that. I need to also discover myself. I think I might have discovered, I don't know. But still, yeah. So now, what is it that I am into now? I am into something called the smart city, smart grid, the IoT way of the IIoT way of trying to do things. That's the digitization what is happening now around the country. The vision of the country or Modi ji was by 2025, 25 crore these normal meters or the legacy or the digital meters would have transformed to become smart meters. So it has got its set of advantages. So now with that, there are several other challenges, and that comes under the critical infrastructure. So that interests me a lot. So earlier, the cybersecurity used to be just as a protection of few what's it called devices, like it might be your server space or your workspace or workstations and all that. Now it has moved on. It is more than that. It's more about business continuity. It's more about resilience of economy. It's like taking care of your critical infrastructure. So now we have to jump into all that thing and have to ensure that by 2030, because now I think every other person, I don't know, this particular generation, have they seen that? They will call it definitely dinosaurs era, but we have come from that era to this era. But definitely there are things that we understand how it should not happen or how it should happen. So we do bring a lot of what's it called, the AI principles into that, what the government has already framed, whether you call it ethical way of trying to do or whether responsible way of trying to do it. And definitely security, it plays a major role. The trust and then the transparency has to be built into the systems. So this is what in brief that I can talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramakrishna Garu, for such a brief and very detailed, 3-decade journey of yours. So now over to my senior colleague Anilama sir to detail about. I am maybe little know about cyber controllers data center security framework, but I guess Anilama sir can define it much better, sir. Over to you.
Yeah, so hi everybody, I am Anil Nama. I am the CIO for Controllers Data Centers Limited. I have close to 36 years of experience. Like sir, I am also a veteran, 15 years in armed forces, followed by a stint in Airtel and last 18 years in Controllers. I mean, from a trend perspective, the top 3 things that we are now working on is the pervasive use of AI, especially in the IoT world. So like sir is doing in smart meters, we are trying to do in building management systems, in the SCADAs which control the electrical, the mechanical part, trying to, integrate all of them. We also recently integrated our CCTV setup with AI so that people don't just have to look at screen, but they can trace an object or a person throughout the premises. So the project is called as ICCC, and that is what has been our one of the focus. Our second focus, of course, is to power on the GPU. So we hold to close to 22% of the Indian market. And as the GPU servers are coming in, we are changing the DC architecture. Think of a rack as the size of this podium. Earlier, 7-8 years back, this used to consume 5 kilowatt power. Now this is consuming 300 kilowatt of power. So those dynamics means a lot of more heat is getting generated beside these servers when they run the GPUs, and we need to bring out the heat. You call it as liquid cooling, you may call it as dielectric cooling, immersion cooling, but from our air-cooled days, the way this AC is working, to dipping something in the water, it's a transformational second change that is happening. Our third change, of course, is in and around the people and the security aspect, because our people handle customers. Those customers, even though by virtue of NDA to control us, end of the day, it's the IT systems which are getting logged in, and therefore we intend to increase their awareness, increase their security. And we also feel that with the advent of this agentic AI and everything coming in, it's already started to come in the ERPs. For example, instead of collection, they do a RAG of DSO and they call the customer to collect. So when those type of agents also come in, this will become much more, scrutinized in the way which data, which type of records, to whom. At least at a human level, we say you can't carry out the laptop, or we say don't put the USB, we have controls. But what happens when it is totally network centric? So that's the third trend that we are trying to prepare.
Nicely summarized, Anil sir. And just to add to the Anil sir point, thanks to working under his kind supervision, one more thing I thought to tell based on the possibility. We're talking about cybersecurity, right? We are talking about localization, and it can only be possible provided the data reside in the same jurisdiction. So control is by far that's the reason to being not only work with that. It is a nice ecom is kind of a green color logo under which I had to work. But it is a kind of data center made by an Indian for Indian data. So that is the one thing that controllers has in its DNA, the first thing entrepreneurship spirit, and also the data is completely handled in India by Indian. And comes to the AI perspective, already technological development, Anil Nama sir has told, but Sridhar has this thing, because of AI, not our customer will suffer, but the one thing even now the employee will suffer. So there is a zero, he even posted openly on LinkedIn. That's why I'm making this statement that there will not be any sacking of people because of AI. So he has taken a mammoth task right from leadership to any L0 to L, all last level. Our people's being trained to the latest trend of AI whom they should be aware of. So that is an additional step as a relation person I have observed in controllers, and which I felt like I should share with all of you so that you can also see that you need not to actually replace people because of AI. You can make people more compliant to AI. So Rashid Garu, over to you.
Thank you. So I'm Rajshekhar Chaudhary. I head Global IT Operations for Trajing Technologies Limited. I think we have been in the industry from more than 40 years. So this is my 29th year in my career. So my personal capabilities in building data centers right from the inception, I started my career with the National Stock Exchange and being a government organization. So till today, I think working for a corporate now, but still I think the most of the projects we handle the completely in government. I think 90% operations we handle government operations. So nationwide, international-wide, our portfolio talks about building applications for prestigious government organizations like entire United Nations in European region. So 90% of the applications and their security operations and everything being managed by us. And close to 8 to 10 states in United States, their security portfolios and their application development and will be taken care by us, the people resides in US region. In India, yeah, I think our presence in India in building applications for multiple states and central governments. I think most of you know about the COVID. So we did the vaccination part and all. I think that application is being developed by Trigen. So we can proudly say that. So eventually, I think a lot of data is generating from us, from all the organizations across the world. I think we also need to be a little sensible in handling them and think we're cautious enough in handling their data. And our security team is continuously monitoring and evaluating the kind of the security controls are taken care into the picture. So evaluating them manually is merely impossible. So we also started 5-6 years ago a separate AI vertical. So where we need to incorporate the tools or APIs or whatever it is to evaluate the things. Are we in the right direction? Are we doing the right thing for the industries? Since we are responsible for many organizations, like in European countries, it is GDPR, and in US, it's every state has a separate entity. And India, I think now DPDP, I think we need to be very cautious in handling all those things. Yeah, we can discuss more about
Thank you, Rashika. Thank you, Rashika Garu. Now I request Jagan Mohan sir. One point to make here, I guess, since you can see, including my age, if I put everyone is having a decades of experience, and you can see how the experience talk within a 3-4 point entire country journey, whether it is India, internationally, is being summarized. So that's the beauty of experience. I guess that's why we are talking about experience to be built up. So again, more and more workshop like this should happen to enable such knowledge sharing. Over to you, Jagan Mohan sir.
Sure. Thank you, Mithali. Hi everyone, good afternoon. I am Jagan Mohan Chari. I am Vice President and Head of IT Infrastructure for a company called Insurance Information Bureau of India, which is an extended arm of IRDAI, most of the people call. So I am with this company for the past 3 years. I have over 35 years of experience, IT experience. I started my journey with a company called CMC Limited. Most of you know was a government company at that point of time, taken over by TCS. Then I worked as a system administrator, network administrator, network security administrator, and all those things. And now I'm taking care of IT infrastructure and cyber security, supporting cyber security, data protection act, implementing data protection controls for this company, Insurance Information Bureau. So our company, Insurance Information Bureau, we collect lot of information, data from all the insurance companies. And we do a lot of analytics and give a lot of insights to industry, not only to industry, but also to IRDAI for in case they have to make any changes to the policies, right? So in this company, we have already embarked on zero trust architecture. We are almost like 65% in the journey implementing zero trust architecture for our organization and putting a lot of controls, because a lot of PII data that insurers give is with us, right? So I also have experience of actually a company working with different domains. I worked with a company called EMRI. Most of you know 108, right? I was heading in EMRI as an infrastructure head there. We architected solution. Almost all the states now use this. That point of time, almost 20-25 years back, no security, no data security is not required. Was now looking at our presentations. I see that even you can stop the battery using a remote control. So designing a solution, IT solution, I think now requires lot of insights, requires lot of brainstorming to consider all these things is what every architect has to understand. And looking at next 5 to 10 years of cyber resilience or controls that we have to put in, what I see is that I think looking all these domains, what I see is that first thing that is going to be topmost priority for all of us is AI-driven warfare. Warfare, why I'm actually coining this word is both defenders and attackers have this tool with them. So anybody can use for any purposes, right? So defenders can use it for predictive analysis and see that their infrastructure is secure. Attackers can use it for anything else. I think no attackers are no dominating is what I see from the presentations there. The next thing is, I think I have seen one of the points there is that quantum computing. Last week, IBM already confirmed that yes, they're ready to demonstrate how quantum computing can work in Andhra Pradesh. So that actually is a very, very important point for all of us to think over, because our sensitive data, whatever cryptographic policies, cryptographic cryptographic policies that we have already put will go waste when this quantum computing comes. So we have to be very careful as how to protect our data post quantum computing security, cyber security. The third one I feel is that whatever discussions happened so far, whatever controls you put in place, there are going to be some attack, right? So what is the resilience that we are going to put into our systems? So what kind of precautionary measures that we are going to take? What kind of air-gapped backup solutions that we are going to take? Immutable backup solutions that we are going to take are going to play a very vital role going forward.
Thank you, sir. As I can see, some of you are taking notes. It's more than a panel discussion, like a master class, well summarized by all the four panelists. So, not in the wake of time, but actually, since it is already, I guess, enough being entire session of since the morning has been summarized. So, I request all the panelists that maybe just to for a quick advice, you would like to give that this should be the topmost priority as per you, that all the organization, both matured and budding, can follow here onwards and contribute to this goal of 2030. So I request Anilama sir.
For me, I mean, we are all IT and security guys. We all know earlier how to used to get our budgets passed, right? We used to creep, and then somehow the example that was given by sir treated as security guard, the security tools. But what has happened now? Let's see post-COVID. First came that ransomware wave, right? With ransomware, what happened? Today, if you see today, as per the Google research, ransomware platform only is $1 billion economy. Now what happens, like ransomware, you have other tool sets. That's a second category of $1.6 billion. Finally, what we heard about the DPDP Act, the consent to your shared data. Do you know that as per the Google measurement, it is a $65 billion economy of sharing your data, which either through ransomware or we have voluntarily shared. Add that to two personal phenomena which are happening to everybody. We heard about all that UPI-led frauds which had happened until it was plugged by NPCI. And because of those digital arrests, the police guys, especially in Telangana, give you message saying that there is no call from police guy. Think, a police guy used to think that I'll call from Thana and you have to come there. Is advertising saying that we don't call, right? All these trends has moved into what as a boardroom. So boardroom, if you see, earlier were very, very functional. For them, it was all automation and MIS. So they went by SCADA controls, plant controls, and those type of things. That was phase one. So phase two came when we came up with DevOps. Because suddenly, and that is why SaaS also came in. The board used to ask, boss, I bought you software 10 crores. Why is it not running? Why am I not able to close my balance sheet? Why are you not able to give me report? Now what is happening is, with this awareness, the board is looking at security in hazmat or hazardous material category. So whatever you take to them now, whether it's an O365 email or whether it is a SAP or whether you want to develop your own portal, it's the board which is asking us, saying that, have you looked at the security aspects of it? Are you sure? Have you done the risk analysis? Or do you want additional investment for it? So for me, the greatest trend change for next 5 to 10 years is all this hesitation of the organizations to invest in security has turned around to promoting security.
I guess this is the best way to defend this. Now, cybersecurity don't need any more PR. Anyway, say there are two abuse, but artificial intelligence, cybersecurity. Ramakrishna Garu, your top priority and message to the forum today.
Actually, when I talk more from the IIoT side, so it's not only the IT or the OT, what we had earlier had discussions. So now the exposure points or the vulnerable points have become, or even the communication technology which comes in between the IT and OT. So everywhere, wherever there is a point of interaction with any other system or people or anything as such, so they all are being exposed. That means, what do we do? Like, we take a word out of sir who had told about the ZTA, the zero trust architecture. So that's very essential. What does that say? That means no trust, it's only verify. So trust is the thing which is built, and is built over a period of time, but it doesn't take few microseconds to destroy the company, the trust on that company, that brand. So now, how do we now get on to that? Whether we do a proactive way of trying to understand the threat, the evaluation, the monitoring process, the response to it, the incident responses. So we are always on the catching up game. Can we reduce the RPO, the RTO. So all these technical aspects of it, very essential. And we need to quickly track down the culprits or the criminals, or what we call what did you call for them? Not the defenders, the people who actually are the people who try to invade into our systems and then trying to hackers or whatever you name them. So these aspects, like we talked about zero trust, and we have to also be up on the game with the AI agents versus AI agents, both from the defender and the attacker perspective. That means we have to have, and we had talked about how systems are getting more and more open. The reason is, see, because of the number of devices, I don't know how many devices you people are handling. I have got 3 devices with me. And thank God, about 4 years ago, they relaunched the IPv4 to IPv6. So that what happens is that the number of device numbers or the label, or when once it comes out of the factory, it comes out with that label or that particular number. That means we cannot change those things. But what does that happen? That means you bring your own devices, you can hack onto the system, or you can latch onto the system. So it even complicates our the complete system that we are trying to build. On the whole, from the IT, CT or the OT perspective, so we have to ensure the AI versus the AI, then the zero trust architecture that we have to build, and we have to ensure that we give priority to the critical infrastructure which is going to be there. The critical infrastructure might be the utilities that we have, might be the emergency services that we have, or the hospitals, or it might be as like our traffic systems. If they are completely automated in a smart city scenario, it should not be just like another Die Hard situation, the movie that I quote. That's it.
Yeah, very well summarized, sir. So, sir has talked about ZTA. We're talking about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and you are talking about global operation in your organization. So, what is your take now? One way we want to go global, another way we're talking about local. So, your summarization.
Yeah, I think so. In 2 different aspects, I would like to give my experiences from the industry I learned so far. So yeah, next 5-6 years, not next 5 years, I think we need to jump into the immediately. So investments of the organization has to be made and move towards to get the right technology in place in the interest of protecting that organization level data. Not only that, when we're talking about zero trust architecture or zero trust networks, earlier there would be a fixed perimeter for any sort of it's a network architecture or a security architecture or a data center architecture. Now the perimeter is your identity. So wherever you go, you're able to access every portal and every application, mails, whatnot, every personal information related to your photograph and your digital certificates. Many portals came like DigiLocker and all. I think you're storing your every valuable data inside. But we also need to understand when we are accessing that and how protective we are and what kind of login technologies in place. Is a multi-factor authentication is enabled? Are we enabling the face recognition or a thumb impression and those things? The personal identifiable information is very important. So considering the DPDP Act, and we're talking about all these acts and all, and how are we ready in protecting that? Our personal information also related to the organization related. So once if somebody hacks it, because hackers are ready with all the technologies, AI and all, because their core job is to hit your systems, get the data or crash the data, generate the business. But we are doing our environment, we are handling our environment along with our business operations. We are not prioritizing things. We have to move towards and we have to get right technology in place. AI is important, and also how do we use the AI technology is also is very important. And we need to write policies, procedures in place, and we need to monitor that. And end of the day, policing and all would be created and done by us towards the AI technologies. And end of the day, and finally, and if something really goes happen, and if some disaster happens, how are we ready? Are we in a position to restore our operations As per the RTOs, RPOs, we have written in our policies the fancy numbers. Yesterday, I did a gap analysis for a big insurance company. I cannot name it. So their RPO is 15 minutes and RTO is 6 hours. But their IT investment is 5 to 10% on the security tools and all. They want to do wonders. So we need to understand. So we need to understand what exactly we are doing. Insurance company is very important, and so much of personal identifiable information or health records and so much of digital data is available there. So we should be enough conscious in implementing all those things. And end of the day, this is inevitable. We have to live in the digital world, and we have to expose to everywhere, and we need to be ready. So we have to ready to do the war. So one saying is there. So if you want to become a king, then nobody will come and give a crown to you. You need to get into a war and you have to win and then get the crown. This war we have to do, and we need to be ready, and we have to equip with all the related equipment. So just march over to invest in the technologies and security tools and create your own architectures and create an intelligent designs. And pick and choose on what kind of solutions are important for us. And end of the day, we need to move India towards to get there, and we are also protected, and we are also technologically sound.
Very well summarized, and I guess luck is there in the favor that now we talked about personal data is going to the right person who is at a nodal agency of all PI. So your summarization, gentlemen, sir.
We covered most of the data privacy, protection, resilience, ZTA, all those things. So the main thing what I feel is that I think the process that we have to design inside the organization. See, cybersecurity, devices, controls, configuring devices, and all those things will happen. But where is the process? Where is the awareness to the, I think other panel was discussing about training our people, educating our people. Cyber education is very, very important. And it cannot be done during the onboarding of the resources. It has to be periodic, because every day some or other new technology is going to come, new what you call malware is coming and all those things. I think the education, the what you call orientation programs have to happen to the resources of the organization, let them know what is best for them and all those things. And at the same time, like what earlier panel was discussing, Yash was discussing about Bluetooth opened for anybody to connect and do whatever they want. These are all comes under the discipline of the organization, where you have to put a process and see that the process is properly implemented and complied to. So this requires periodic audits, like what most of the government organizations will have their disaster recovery sites put in place, but they will not test it. So DR drills, periodic DR drills are very, very important. So how frequently we are doing, to what extent we are doing. Are we doing really all critical applications or disaster recovery ready? When something happens to your primary site, are you able to go and start working from disaster recovery site? So this is all related to the process, adherence to the process, and having periodic audits is very, very important, and education to the people. I am actually skipping other things because we have already covered them. So the two aspects which I wanted to cover is that education, educating, and periodical reinforcement of cyber knowledge to the people. And second one is what I spoke about is discipline process.
Thanks a lot, sir. Since we talked about ZTA, one thing which I learned during my cybersecurity initial career, which started 3 years back only with DSCI, ST approach, stop, think, and act. When all the frameworks are there, I guess with experience and awareness, the stop, think, and act approach can only save us. And I guess it is a very well summarization by all the panelists. But just to summarize, we talked about AI versus AI, and I have one more AI expansion is actual intelligence. So we can fight both the agents. Means we can use the right agent and defend the wrong agent with our right actual intelligence. That is, I guess, this one summary. And with, I guess, lot of this kind of a knowledge sharing which sir talked about and previous panel, I guess, going forward, at the end the knowledge has to be the continuous process. And on the last note, it is a very interesting topic that we are sitting in Hyderabad. Sir talked about, Jagan Mohan Reddy talked about disaster recovery, and recently Controller has happened to write about Hyderabad as a disaster recovery capital of India. The reason being is the awesome weather and the more resiliency from all the perspective. And Hyderabad has beautiful 3 data centers in Hyderabad itself, and 19 active in India, and many more coming. And the new concept of exploring tier 2 cities, we already have 2 active in Patna and 1 in Lucknow. So there are many more, and we are here to support the entire ecosystem safely, securely, and building the resilience. So I guess that's all from our side. With the permission of panel, we declare the sign off. Thank you.